Now, my second guest this morning is a man, I've been playing his album, you might have heard me. He's a man called Bobby Roche, and he tells me that we met. God, Bobby, when was it?
About probably 1993.
Oh my God.
Upstairs in Beauty's Cafe on Grafton Street. I was playing with a band called Araby, with a wonderful woman called Marion McAvoy, and Liz Monaghan, and a guy called Tony Steele on bass. And Marion must have bumped into you somewhere, but she invited you along to play with us one night, and it was great because it was the first time the place was packed. That was it was sometime around 1993, might have been 94, 95.
Was Marion involved with a recording studio at that time?
She has her own recording studio. Pancord, she is. She's in Glasnevin. Yeah.
And of course, she's Eleanor McAvoy's sister. Yeah.
And she's
an industrious lady.
Oh, she is.
Yeah,
she's busy all the time. And she has a brother, Kieran, who's a wonderful guitar player, and he plays the electric. There's electric guitar on a couple of the tracks, and there's on the track 10 there's a fabulous solo that Kieran plays, so it's nice to have that association.
Well, your own album, Don't Think I Don't Remember, you know what I like about it is, and I hate to have to say this, but we could be of an age, because a lot of the things that you talk about in the album, a lot of the things are things I remember. For example, the Jukebox Man.
Yes.
I worked in an amusements arcade for 3 years during the summer holidays. And there was a Jukebox Man, and you talk about the CDs with the big holes because they had a different playing method. And the jukebox, it just jumps out at you, and so many. The Big Wave, very emotional song, really good song. The songs are just great on this album, and we talk about awards and all album. What I like about it is the loose texture of everything. It's just like it's thrown out there, but what comes through are the songs. The songs really come through. So
well, thank you.
Now you have your Takamine with you.
I have,
and this is your first time to ever sing a song on the radio.
Live on radio. I've been played on radio. This is a different kettle of fish, but I might start with that song Jukebox Man. And actually on the CD, my recording engineer Philip went off and got at the very on the CD itself, when you press track 1, you actually hear somebody walking up to a jukebox, putting in money, and you hear the mechanism, the whir, the click, and then you hear the crackle of the needle hitting the vinyl. And that he surprised me with that, but I thought it was great. And at the end, you hear that before the needle lifts up. But we won't be supplying that.
And I love the idea about this man being in America, and he comes back with this jukebox are going to be the new big thing.
Well, the song is my father. I had an uncle who had an agency for jukeboxes in the west of Ireland, and I don't know whether my father was in it or my uncle got ill. But my father brought my brother and myself on one of these trips. So that was the genesis of the song. Now, I didn't let the facts get in the way of a good story, so I might have embellished it after that. But a lot of the album's called Don't Think I Don't Remember, and a lot of the songs, the basis would be some memory I have, but then after that, the names are changed to places, and often
protect the innocent,
and multiple characters become one character. So this song recalls that time when we were in Ballinrobe, Westport, Lewisburg, and my father would go in and take the money out. But the bonus for us as children was we got to keep the old records.
And you could get a little thing for your record player that you could put in the middle.
Well, that's right. But every now and again that would go missing, and I can remember trying to fit middles.
Trying to settle it without the things.
So we ended up getting, and I was only nine years of age, and suddenly we had all these records coming into the house. Now they might have only been a month out of date, so I remember Conway Twitty, Brenda Lee, early Elvis. And just as a 10-year-old, just going into a room on my own and playing this music, and I do feel it had something to do with when I got the bug.
Yeah.
So
and you do mention that rock and roll coming in.
Yes. Yeah. Will I give it a?
I'll give it a whirl.
Okay. So here it is. This is the Jukebox Man. Outside in the car was my brother and me. Daddy took us out of school for some company. We're in some strange town many miles away. parked outside a small cafe. Daddy's in there with the key 'cause he's the jukebox man. He can open every jukebox for miles around. Scoops out all the cash, he's got that look in his face. Brings the old records home in a brown suitcase. And I love the feeling, traveling this land, where the fortunate sounds of the jukebox man. I can't wait to get some time alone. Gonna play all those records when we get home. Daddy quit the Air Force 1954, and he worked for a while in the family store. He might have missed the rush, been in the Air Force Springs, till he said, boys, jukeboxes are the next big thing. And I love the feeling, traveling this land, where the fortunate sounds of the jukebox man. I can't wait to get some time alone. Gonna play all those records when we get home. Elvis the Big O, we got Ray Charles too. We got Eddie Cochran and the Summertime Blues. Johnny Kidd and the Pirates, Gentle Jim Reeves. Records got no middles and they got no sleeves. Don't ask me why it didn't last for long. Grown-ups talk behind closed doors when things go wrong. But there's a line I can trace right back to then, when all of that strange music came tumbling in. And I love the feeling, traveling this land, where the fortunate sounds of the jukebox man. I can't wait to get some time alone. Gonna play all those records when we get home. And I love the feeling, like we were on the land, where the desperate sounds from the jukebox gang. How I loved time I'd spend alone, playing all of them records when we got home, playing all of that music when we got home.
Great stuff, great stories in that song, you know. We used to go to a jukebox in Ballyshannon when I was growing up, and about 12, 13, 14 years of age. It was the only way, really, you could, because there wasn't that much music on the radio at the time, and it was Coyle's Cafe. And poor Mrs. Coyle, her mother was Italian. And she used to shout, you'd hear her shouting out from the back kitchen. She'd say, you come here, you play the jukebox, you put no money in the jukebox, you buy the Coca-Cola, and all you play the jukebox. And she was right, because we figured a way with it. You remember when they used to have steel combs way back? Yes. And there was a big long piece at the end, really pointed piece at the end. If you stuck it down into the slot and jiggle it around a bit, the thing would play for free. And poor Mrs. Coyle never got paid that for the jukebox. And it was great memories there of playing and listening to jukeboxes. They meant so much to us in those days, you know.
Indeed.
There are lots of love stories in this. You don't go directly in the love stories. You kind of allude to early love stories and stuff like that. True Calling comes to mind, about the girl you meet early on.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite click, obviously.
No, and because maybe like a lot of fellas, girls are always miles ahead. You know,
and mysterious.
Yeah, they're mysterious. Yeah. And I'd no sisters, so the girls were, very mysterious for me. But they were always more clued in. And every now and again, as a sort of slightly clueless teenager, I'd meet a girl, and there may have been some attraction of her for me, but she'd soon think, this guy, you know, he's nice, he's funny, he's, you know, he plays the guitar and sings, but really, you know, I'm not going to wait around for this guy to get it. So, you know, and that's...
Is that a difficult one to ask you to do, True Calling?
No, I wasn't but no, it's not. But if there's a solo at the end of it that on the electric guitar that is love. But if that's one that jumps out at you,
it did jump out of me.
All right.
And don't worry about the electric guitar. We'll imagine.
Okay, all right. Well, I just finished it. Yeah, and I got the idea. From I know it was shown recently on television where various artists came together and did the songs of Leonard Cohen, and it featured interviews with Cohen himself and Bono. But every time, I've never tried to copy his songwriting, but any time he opens his mouth, I want to have a notebook nearby, and I start, because every time Leonard Cohen speaks, I just get so excited about every second line he says gives me an idea.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that idea of your true calling, and I said I have to write a song about that. And it's a deep kind of notion that all of us, that, you know, we all want to end up doing the thing we're supposed to be doing in life, and if that's, you know, being a father or mother or a job or something, that, you know, we're not just living somebody else's life.
Bobby, you strike me somebody who has more or less done what they wanted to do, but done it part-time. You talk about wearing a suit during the 5 days of the week.
Oh, that's very good. You know, but that song wasn't about me.
Yeah.
And I was actually poking fun at somebody else in that.
But
I've lived that life and for too long. I mean, music was the thing I always wanted to do, and I'm running a music school in Naas now, and I love teaching children, and I love the vibe in the place, and I've lovely piano teachers working with me, and then I do a gig, you know, once a week, every 2 weeks, and in a local hotel. So I do.
The best of both worlds.
I have now, yes, and I have a long-suffering wife who has allowed me indulge this passion. So I'll say hello to Geraldine, who's listening back in Naas online, and my girls.
Good to know.
So I'll have a go at True Calling now, Geraldine, and see if. There was an all-night Texaco on the edge of our hometown. I used to stop there every chance I could and just hang around. There was a girl working there, I like to think we got along, but I was shy and awkward then. Anything that I would say used to come out wrong. She used to smile and call me Hank and strum an air guitar, sing out some old rebel song as she filled up my car. She said, you and I should run away together before this town does us both in. She might have said that to all the boys, still the very thought of it used to fill my dreams. Some of us were raised up in a cage, in captivity. Spent a long time trying to find some way of being free, hoping there might be something better just around the bend. Hope we find our true calling in the end. In the end. Some people frightened by the future, what it might bring, but I'm scared to death by the past and the fool I have been. Spent too long round the dance hall when my dancing days were done. Spent too long inside the mission wall when all along I knew should have cut and run. Some of us were raised up in a cage, in captivity. days there are people who hunger after fame. To live life out in the spotlight is their only game. Their mediocrity paraded across the papers and on the screen. It's hard to stay true to your calling in times such as these. So we cast our children upon the waters and the wild. I hope we've given them a compass or a star to steer them by. Hope they have a nose for the charlatan or the matter with the knife. Hope they find someone or something that's going to light up their lives. Some of us were raised up in a cage, in captivity. Spent a lifetime trying to find some way of being free. Now I think I see a light ahead and it's just around the bend. Think I'll find my true calling in the end. In the end.
You're very welcome back to the Saturday Connection. We're talking so much, you know, when you get two guitar players in the same room, it just gets a bit crazy. There's no doubt about it. But my guest this morning is a man called Bobby Roche. And Bobby, and I met, he tells me, way back in around 1993 in upstairs in Bewley's, where there used to be probably still are, Bobby, are there still sessions and sort of drama and stuff like that? Yeah. It's a great old world, so there's no doubt about it. You yourself, originally from Dublin?
From Dunleary.
Yeah.
And people would know me as Bernard, but I, just for songwriting purposes, I have a pet name. My wife is Bobby at home, so I just put that for
it works. It works. Yeah, funny. I used to know a fellow called Noel Murphy from Dunleary. I worked with him for a long time there, and a great man for the swimming. Great old place, Dunleary. Although it's suffering a little bit with the good times and bad times that we've had. You know, you go through it now. A lot of closed shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, George's Street, the main street.
Yeah,
it's the donut effect. I mean, Dundrum Town, the Dundrum Centre wouldn't have done it any favours.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pity because the seafront is so wonderful.
Wonderful place.
The harbour and
spent many time. I walked on Dunleary Pier and out there. Name and Daly, a friend of mine. Maybe he's listening. I don't know, but he remembers walking on Dunleary Pier and meeting Brendan Behan. Imagine that. And he met Brendan Behan. He was only a young man at the time, and so Eamon was but it's a lovely story because I can imagine that the meeting, and he stopped and talked to them.
Yes,
it's just lovely, you know, that kind of way. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
So you've got 10 tracks and a bonus track, of course, the Brian. We might go out of that and play that one at the end.
Or would I play that one now?
Oh yeah, okay.
It's all right. This is it's called Count Yourselves Lucky, and because the songs are mostly in the Americana style, I didn't quite know, this is a tribute to Brian Addisley, and I didn't quite know what to do with it, because people who are interested in Americana, and maybe not in sport, might see this and say, what's that doing in the middle of it? So I decided the best thing to do is put it in as a bonus track. But I was trying to write it for months, and I had it half written. I was trying to think, is there a precedent for a song about a sportsman? And I thought of the ballad The Bowl Thady Quill, but that was as much about his...
The Gallant John Joe is another one.
Is there?
Yeah,
but
John
sometimes
O'Reilly.
They're more about their off-the-field antics. You know, so I didn't know what style to do it in. And if he was a Cork hurler or something like that, well, you could do it in the Irish ballad style. So, being from like South County Dublin myself, I thought the only...
One of the darts down there.
Dartland, I thought I decided to do it slightly in early Dylan kind of style. So this is my tribute to the great man in his probably final year of professional rugby.
Sad to think.
And it's called Count Yourselves Lucky. Oh no, I just tuned for a different better. God.
Let there be no panic.
There. Come all you sports lovers from near and from far, And I'll tell you a story of a true Irish star who caused milestones and records to tumble like rain. And I don't think we'll ever see his likes again. He was raised out in Clontarf on Dublin's Green Bay, showed promise in football from an early age. In a field south in Blackrock, he found his true call, for his destiny lay with the oval-shaped ball. And count yourselves lucky to have lived in these times and seen the boy Driscoll running out in his prime. And tell your children's children of the wonders you've seen, wearing green, wearing blue, with the number 13. The year was 2000, Paris in the spring. Anyone who was there knew they'd witnessed something. A hat-trick of tries, a real masterclass that left poor Emile Entomac clutching at grass. Count yourselves lucky to have lived in these times and seen the boy Driscoll running out in his prime. And tell your children's children of the wonders you've seen, wearing green, wearing blue, with the number 13. Just 5 years later, at the height of his game, captaining the Lions to New Zealand he came. But his tour, it had ended soon as it had begun. An illegal spear tackle left him wounded and stunned. Was it premeditated, part of a scheme, or just a moment of madness when they turned up the heat? But New Zealand closed ranks, cameras turned the other way. They said we've no time for whinging in this game that we play. And they say it's a dark place where sports people go. When injury finds you, sends you off on your own. You spend every day fighting those doubt yourself blues. You become a spectator, someone else in your shoes. He was licking his wounds, he was biding his time, inching closer and closer to crossing that line. The waters were rising that would break through the dam. 3 times King of Europe, 6 Nations Grand Slam. Yeah. And count yourselves lucky to have lived in these times and seen the boy Driscoll running those lines. And tell your children's children of the wonders you've seen, wearing green, wearing blue, with the number 13. Sometimes I go to a game with an old friend I know. We used to soldier together down in the front row. Back in the dark ages, we knew little of skill in the lower divisions, for better or ill. And we count ourselves lucky that we've lived in these times and seen the boy Driscoll defending that line. We'll tell our children's children of the courage we've seen, wearing green, wearing blue, with the number 13. So come all you sports lovers from near and from far, and I'll sing you my story of a true Irish star who caused milestones and records to tumble like rain. And I don't think we'll ever see his likes again.
Sounds, Bobby, like a song that's going to have part 2. because there's an awful time when he was left off the Lions team there last year.
Yeah, you could keep going.
But that everybody remembers the spearhead tackle,
yes,
and it's a great song. Well done on that.
Thank you.
You've jogged a lot of memories, and it's a song. They talk about hit songs. I don't talk about them anymore, hit songs, but it's a song I think that with the right promotion could be a hit song, because it tells so many stories for so many people. Well done. Bobby Roche is my guest here on the programme this morning. His album is called Don't Think I Don't Remember, and we'll play a track from the album before we go up to the news. But in the meantime, let's take a commercial in the dock as well. And we'll be speaking to Eddie Reader on the programme next week or the week after. She's down there. I saw her there the last time she was in the dock. Wonderful show altogether. She's a great girl and great old fun. And all that happening in the dock. If you want to book, the telephone number is 07196508828. Bobby, you want to tell us about this song that we're going to play from the album now, Guardian Angel, and it features a female singer.
Yeah, this is Deirdre Starr, who's a good friend of mine, and we have a little band, we gig together, and Deirdre's a wonderful singer, and I sing all the rest of the songs in the album, but she does all the harmonies, and she does the lead vocal on this song, and it's about a teenage girl who goes missing, and this is her mother, if you like, grieving for her, and I suppose after the Amber television series last weekend, it's kind of topical again, but I suppose for the people who are living through that nightmare, it doesn't go away. But
was she ever found? The teenage.
Oh no, I didn't. This is non-specific. Yeah. But I know in where I come from, Deirdre Jacob, Jojo Dullard.
Oh yes,
there's a few.
Yeah.
So this is a story kind of I created based on loosely on the facts of their cases, but just trying to put myself into the place of the parent.
Where can people buy the album, by the way?
It will be on iTunes in 2 weeks' time. We're just sorting out band codes, whatever they are. At the moment, if anybody wants a copy, if you email me roachnace@gmail.com. If you send me your email, I'll put a CD in the post for you, and you can send me on a tenner afterwards. It's €10. I'll look after the postage. So just roachnace, one roll those two together, at gmail.com. Email me your address, and I'll be delighted to send you a copy, and you can sort it, and you can post me the money after you get the CD.
Well, listen, Bobby, it's been a pleasure having you, and great to meet you after all this time, and been playing the album, and we're going to go out with the track from the album again. It's called I Don't Think I Don't Remember. It's by Bobby Roche. On this speech, it's what's the girl's name again?
Deirdre Starr.
Deirdre Starr, and I love this. You'll love this, listeners. Stay tuned.
Each of us has a guardian